Hey, first grade. Today we will be reading the book Fascinating Frogs. You need this book for the directed drawing that we are going to do tomorrow. You don't necessarily need this book for your comprehension check that you will do today's assignments, but we are going to read it and then you will use the information tomorrow. Fascinating Frogs. On our table of contents, we see that page 1 is the introduction, page 2 is the poison dart frog, page 3, bullfrog, page 4, leopard frog, page 5, red-eyed tree frog, 6, horned frog, 7, glass frog, and 8, glossary. Who remembers what the glossary tells us? You're right. The glossary tells us information about words that we may not know. So in this book, the words are typically bolded or italics so that we know that if we don't know what that word means, we can look it up in the glossary. Introduction. Ribbit. Even toddlers recognize the sounds of a frog. Why do you think that is? We are so fascinated with this animal. Is it because their croak is so different than the sounds that most other animals make? Or is it because some species of frogs can leap 20 times their own length in one jump? I am not sure the reason for the fascination, but I do know a few things about frogs. Frogs are amphibians that lay eggs in or near water. Frogs will go through a complete metamorphosis, also known as major change in their lives. During the tadpole phase, they have gills, but will develop lungs so that they can breathe air. Frogs don't drink water like we do. They soak it up through their skin. There are around 4,780 different species of frogs with slightly different behaviors and appearances. Let's take a closer look at a few of these frogs. Poison dart frog. The rainforests of Central and South America are home to one of the world's most poisonous animals, the poison dart frog. Their bright colors are not just for fashion purposes. They are a warning to predators to be aware of their toxicity. So remember, this word's going to be in the glossary. Take a guess at what this word might mean. For example, the golden poison frog could kill 20,000 mice with the poison inside its body. The frog's skin is covered in poison, so just one lick of its skin could mean death for the predator. But what about the dart part of the name? You guessed it. Their poison is extracted and used on the ends of hunters' darts to make these weapons even more dangerous. Bullfrog. The bullfrog gets its name due to its loud, deep croak and how similar it is to a cow's moo. Bullfrogs are semi-aquatic, which means they live on the edge of freshwater ponds and lakes. They eat insects, mice, snakes, fish, and other creatures. They lunge at their food and swallow it whole. The female bullfrog lays up to 20,000 jelly-like eggs at a time. Once the eggs become tadpoles, it will take them a year to develop into full-grown frogs. The male frog will hang around to protect the tadpoles, and he will attack any predator that tries to harm them. Bullfrogs help us out by eating mosquito larvae and keeping the mosquito population from getting out of control. Leopard frog. The leopard frog is known for its large circular spots on its back. These spots act as camouflage by helping it blend in with its surroundings. This adaptation protects the frog from predators. Leopard frogs are also known as meadow frog because it can live in large open fields or even mountains. Most frogs live right next to fresh water to ensure that its skin stays moist. When the leopard frog is away from a permanent water source, remember that's a glossary word, it will rest in small holes, like a ditch that it creates with its own body. During the winter, leopard frogs hibernate under rocks, mud, and underwater. The leopard frog can leap 8 feet in one jump and is the state amphibian for both Vermont and Minnesota. Red-eyed tree frog. Like other frogs, the red-eyed tree frog begins its life in eggs and then changes into a tadpole and eventually becomes a frog. The bright colors of their eyes and legs are a defense mechanism. Wow, that's a big word. What do you think it means? Known as startle coloration. The shocking colors usually cause predators to freeze and give the frogs enough time to escape. Red-eyed tree frogs are nocturnal amphibians who mostly eat insects or frogs that are smaller than they are. Red-eyed tree frogs also have suction cup toes that help them cling to tree branches. Female tree frogs lay their eggs on the underside of leaves that hang over water. This is very strategic because when the tadpoles emerge from their eggs, they will be washed down the leaves right into the water, where they will stay until they are developed enough to climb into the trees. Horned frog. The most common horned frog is the Argentinian wide-mouthed frog. These frogs can be found in the rainforest of South America. They are also known as greedy eaters, as they will attempt to eat anything that moves close to them, from lizards to birds to small mammals. They will remain motionless until they spot their prey. Then they will shoot out their extremely sticky tongue, let it hit the prey, and retract their tongue back into their mouth. Their strong jaws will slam shut, preventing their prey from escaping. If a larger predator tries to eat them, the horned frog will bite it. The pointy pieces over their eyes act as another element as camouflage, as they look like leaves on the ground. Glass frog. Like many interesting frogs, the glass frog is native to Central and South America. His skin is translucent. That means you can see his beating heart and other organs. Many people mistake the glass frog for the tree frog, but they have several differences. As far as their appearance, the main difference is that glass frogs have large forward-facing eyes, where the tree frog has eyes on the side of its head. Glass frogs are territorial, which means that they claim an area as their own. Male glass frogs will warn other male glass frogs with a loud croak, but they will also become aggressive with other glass frogs that try to come in their area. Frogs are quite fascinating creatures. Can you find similarities in the behaviors of these frogs to other animals we have studied? All right, here's our glossary with some of the words that we went over. Defense mechanism, a behavior meant to protect oneself from harm. Permanent, lasting for a very long time. Retract, to pull back in. Toxicity, how poisonous something is. Translucent, not completely clear, but enough that light can pass through it and can be seen through. All right, first grade. So remember, this book we read for our directed drawing tomorrow, you will do your assignment, but you don't need this information until tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye, first grade.